plants and animals adapt slowly to better suit their environment in this natural process. And I think design should do the same thing, and that's, in a nutshell, what my process is about. Trinity was inspired by the Nautilus shell, and it was more a form study and something I wanted to just do some experiments around. Each year a chamber grows in the shell, and eventually you get this perfectly spiraled shell that's lightweight, self-intersecting, strong. If you look at the prototypes, the cutting pattern was always really simple. It was just concentric triangles, and how something really simple, if manipulated the right way, could make these structures, because that's kind of how these natural structures are created as well. Like, they're very simple seed pods or lines in a shell, but they're arranged in a way that you get the strength. So it's kind of analysing not only the form of these structures, but the maths and the engineering behind them if you look at how they're created. And that's why the first one was about how could I laser cut something flat and turn it into a 3D structure that would take its cues from this shell, and then did a few prototypes in acrylic and then metal. And this initially caught the eye of Alessi through me showing them the prototype in Milan, and then to get it to a point where it still kept all the beauty and the experimentation of the first one, but could be mass manufactured. I think this is something that happens quite a lot, is something is given to them in a way that is not particularly developed for their manufacturing process. So then we just spoke about things that would have to happen, like removing some weight and changing the amount of welding, and then kind of struck the idea that if I could cut it in one go, keep the original shape, but then allow it to distort slightly and be pressed, that would be the way to do it. It's a nice process in the way that they want designers to be themselves. You know what they've got in their arsenal to manufacture, and you know what they're capable of. But the reason they work with outside design houses is because they want this fresh input. I think any good design, you have to have that ability to experiment and to make mistakes. And they definitely set up that environment where I could, make a mistake and we could go in another direction. I think that's important. It's almost like a safety net. You're working under knowing that if you fall, it's fine. And that's the only way you're ever going to get, experimental or interesting work. Foliar was brief-based. So I got a brief from Woven Wall saying, could you design a decorative wall surface? As open as that. And that's where I had the idea for something dynamic. If you're going to have something on a wall, it'd be nice if it could be changeable and also defined by the user. So I looked to things in nature that move through natural mechanisms. So Venus flytrap, flowers opening and closing, moving for the sun. Foliar's shape is very much inspired by foliage, has like center veins and a section that's relieved, so you can actually manipulate the leaf. And we went through different processes, and one of the ones we ended up experimenting with magnets. So the user can pick it up and it will sit up and form like a curve like foliage, and then you can push it back down and it will sit and lock itself back down. So from looking at nature and then making prototypes, first there was polypropylene, this gourd section to act like a live hinge, and then this informed the material that would be needed. Another cue that informed the material was being designed for disassemble. That's why there's a backing tray that you can tessellate, but the leaf joins to it just with a clip, no glues, nothing like that. So at the end of life, it can be, two pieces can be removed, put into a separate waste stream. So even things like that inform the shape, inform the form of the product. So it's kind of like I said, it's just starting out here with what you want to achieve and just bringing it down until you get to those goals.